Welcome to, in my opinion, 4 Naruto Shippuden Ultimate Ninja Storm 4. Just a heads up, if you have not finished the Naruto manga, all I'm going to talk about and show spoils a lot of the final chapters. Back to the story. We join our lead Naruto in the middle of the 4th Great Ninja War, trying to save his friends and the world from Madara. That pretty much sums it up while going into super detail. And the main question probably on your mind is, where does this game exactly start and where does it end? Well, it starts when the masked man is revealed to be Obito, to the very end of Sasuke and Naruto's final duel, with a tiny taste of the time skip of the new generation. For the most part, the game does an okay job retelling the story parts. You won't get every single bit of detail, but you get the gist of things. You'll see the death of Neji, the big guy in Madara battle, they reveal Kagura, and so on. If they mention anything that was shown in the past games, they try to fill it in for you so you're not too lost. Though there is one problem which I'll get into in the presentation part of the review. Like previous Storm games, we got a 3D fighter on our hand. Those who played the other games should feel right at home. You pick from a big roster of 106, counting different forms, making a team of 3, 2, or all by your lonesome. Each character feels like their anime counterpart, so the game gets the characters right. There are some up-close slow brutes, fast attackers, and characters that straight fly in their range. The combat is rather simple. You have one button to attack, though holding the stick in a certain direction will change animation and can sometimes set up for a longer combo stream, one to charge, and then you have your jump/dash button. While the game isn't really all that deep when it comes to fighters, there is some similar strategy when it comes to managing certain things. Doing stuff like dashing, fast dashing, combo canceling, and jutsus absorbs chakra, so you have to be sure you're not just wasting it away without any thought, or else you'll run empty and be left open. You also have to manage the substitutions, which can save your ass in a tight spot. There's a 4-use limit, and once it's gone, you have to wait for it to fill up again. Then you have your ninja tools with healing items, attack items, status items like lower the opponent's defense, and finally the guard breaker, which as its name says, breaks the opponent's guard, leaving them dazed and open to attack. It may sound cheap, but you do have to be a certain distance to catch them, has a limit of use, and damage is reduced after getting hit by it. So don't think you'll be able to do it and pull off an ultimate jutsu for big damage. It ain't happening. There are some changes this time around for the combat system. Before, you picked a character and 2 subs which you couldn't use in combat. They were just there to back you up in more than one way, and you had to wait for them to recharge after use. Using them would also fill your storm gauge, which is that yellow bar. Building that up would make them appear more occasionally to help out. Finally, getting it completely full will allow you to do a gang-up attack that will lead to your ultimate jutsu. While they can still be used just for that, you can actually switch to them for combat. Not only that, you can switch mid-combo, making for a longer stream. You do, however, all share the same exact health bar. Also, if you picked a certain team, you can pull off a special team-related ultimate jutsu instead of the regular.
I feel so safe right now. Naruto's with me. That's why I can stay strong.
The victor has been decided.
Thank you.
Awakenings are still here and activate the same way, which is after taking a good amount of damage, a symbol appears next to your chakra bar. Just keep charging and it turns on. Savakli will open his gates, Hinata will get her lion fist, and so forth. What's pretty cool is that this time around you can activate all of your members' awakenings at once, just to be sure to have your storm gauge fully charged. Another new mechanic is armor breaking. This usually occurs after you lose 1 bar of your health. Now, while it's a pretty neat visual change, it also makes your attack stronger and defense less. However, this only counts for the 1 character that got their armor broken. I think it's a fair balance as it doesn't feel too overboard with the damage output and intake. It's also a counter system that if timed right, you can push away your foe. Though when you do it, your chakra bar is cut down for a bit, even if you don't succeed in the counter. So be sure not to botch up. So yeah, the combat is still fun, and the little changes do help out a bit. It also does its job of capturing the feel of the anime fights. I do wish though, this being the last Storm game, that we got some new ultimate jutsus for all the characters. Instead, we keep getting the same reused ones with some new here and there. Now on to the modes. We have your story mode in which you play through the ninja war with 2 paths, which are basically what Naruto is up to and what Sasuke is up to, eventually converging into one path. Along the way, there are some side paths to let you know some of the other events going on or something from the past. Most of the fights are just normal battles, some with just bigger health bars, but you do have some gigantic battles as well, each sporting some awesome QTE scenes. There are also mob battles, think something like Dynasty Warriors with you smashing through a bunch of enemies. In every battle you are ranked and given goodies according to the rank you receive. The story fights also have sub goals you can do to get extra goodies. Just a little tip on those going for the S ranks, the sub goals don't really matter. Just make sure your health doesn't drop below 90% and don't screw up the QTEs during the big cutscenes. The story mode length is pretty good for what it covers, and even has a little time estimate for each fight. Though if you're going for S rank, it may take way longer.
To these offspring.
The next big mode after that is Adventure Mode, which takes place after the Ninja War. The plot to this is simply Sakura helping Hinata get closer to Naruto through missions. Even Kakashi is helping out. The main missions are recap fights from the past, with someone usually explaining what led to it. He also runs submissions like facing Might Guy's hot-blooded students, each becoming harder, helping Tsunade with a tournament, and more. There's even other side tasks like cleaning up the graveyard for some related. Then you got sudden events, which are basically characters popping out of nowhere either asking to fight, for items, or to give you items. They never stop, but you can ignore them if you want. Eventually you learn about memory crystals. Just like the story fights, these are recaps from the past giving you some info behind it. You can easily see where these are located with the world map and in the area maps. There are also warp points around the area maps, making traveling much quicker. Later on, conglomeration shadows pop up. These are powerful enemies you run into that you can fight. The adventure mode was pretty enjoyable. The whole hooking up thing was kinda cute, and it was nice to see what some characters were up to after the big war. Also, even after you've done everything in adventure mode, you can still roam around if you want to. Now we have your options in free battle. There's survival with two options, one called ability cap survival, which there are 3 tiers of difficulty to play through, each of these having their own set amount of fights and conditions set to them. Then you have ultimate survival, which is you fighting an endless onslaught of battles, which can end up having their own special conditions added to it. We also have a tournament mode and a versus mode. Then we got battle league fights, which has tier levels like cap survival. While in free battle, you can also customize your character's substitution item and what's the final image you want to be shown when you land a finishing ultimate jutsu on your enemy.
If you're thinking you can beat me, it's the biggest mistake you'll ever make.
You're probably wondering why you're collecting all this money and goodies from every mode. Well, that's for the collection store. There's 2 sections to the store, one where you use just cash and the other where you use both your ninja treasures and cash you've collected. Here you can buy costumes, your substitution items, finished images, and then you got the pictures and titles you can buy to customize your ninja info card for online. Speaking of online, well, it's functional for the most part. You have 5 different modes to mess with. There's rank, player, league, tournament, and endless. You also have a bingo book showing some goodies you can get by taking down certain characters online. And there's limited time events you can tackle if you want to, that's updated like every other day or so. I have experienced some lag issues during fights, and the game is really not that balanced. The past Storm games look great, and this one's no different. The character models still look nicely done. Hell, they even look a bit better as previous games had way more jaggies on them. Here, it's much smoother. They also added some new particle effects that shine even more during the story mode's epic battles. The frame rate is still sick as smooth even with all that's going on, keeping up the fast combat without a hitch. The dubbing cast is the same from the show, so he did good work. Only oddball being the first Hokage, and he also changed Obito's voice from Revolution. If you're not a fan of the English voice work, he always changed to Japanese, Brazilian Portuguese, or neutral Spanish.
This is my realm. There is nothing you can do.
Now there are some problems. The lip syncing can be pretty dang bad at times during cutscenes. And finally, the most glaring issue is the fact that not every cutscene is animated. Instead, a good few, mainly in the beginning, are images with semi-movement and effects. This is odd since I don't really remember them doing this type of thing in the past games, at least for the numbered ones. You kinda wish it being their final entry to the series that they will go all out,
this all about
but
Rean?
either they ran out of time, didn't have the budget, or just got lazy.
failed to
In
keep
the
my
end, it
promise to
really
you.
sticks out.
You're right. I am trash. But you're a hero of the Hidden Leaf. You don't need to sink to the same level.
This is reality. Whatever side you're on, every ninja who survives ends up as trash.
This was another good entry to the Storm series. The core combat was still fun, fast, fluid, and with the little additions added to it like character swapping just helps make it better. Let's also not forget the game still looks great and has some nicely done voice acting. There's also a good amount of single player content such as story mode, adventure mode, and the other modes to mess with in free battle. If you're the completionist type, you also have all the stuff you can buy from the collection store. Don't forget there's online as well if you want to bump heads with others, the bingo book, and updated events to take on. However, I felt this being the last entry, it could have gone out in a much bigger bang. The presentation was lacking in the story mode, I would have liked some new ultimate juices for the whole cast, and the online is not all that balanced. Though in the end, if you still enjoy the past games and are a Naruto fan, it's still worth weathering this final storm. I hope you enjoy my thoughts in this game, and for gamer's sake, keep gaming.